members from the city of Memphis to talk about the vaccine plan here. As you know, there have been some very serious challenges, some very disappointing circumstances that have unfolded over the last several days. At least they have come to light in the last several days. We have a great deal of concern about that, and one of our greatest concerns is to make sure that the residents of Shelby County continue to get vaccines in a timely fashion, and that the process is not slowed down. The city of Memphis has done an incredible job in working with the State Department of Health. We have intervened into the challenges that exist here, and we're working with the city to create a process that makes sure vaccines continue to get out, and they're doing a very good job of making sure those vaccines are put in the arms of Shelby Countyans. So we have folks on the ground here, as you know, that are working to make sure that the vaccine distribution process moves well, and we feel very confident that moving forward, that's going to happen. And as evidenced by this site right here, so we came to visit this site just to make sure that we could get eyes on the ground of what's happening in Shelby County. Happy to take your questions.
Governor, what do you think the way forward is for the Shelby County Health Department? How badly do you think the health department was damaged in the eyes of the state because the work with it?
Well, I think that the health department, that the vaccines have been removed from the health department, and there is currently no storage or distribution of vaccines being managed by the Shelby County Health Department. That speaks to the great deal of concern that we have for it. Those vaccines have been transferred, moved to another location. The storage, the delivery, the distribution is being handled through separate channels because of the great concern we have.
Do the new revelations today by Dr. Piercy, does that suggest to you that the state needs to do anything further in terms of the intervention?
Well, the state has intervened and is taking over the process here in this county. That's a severe intervention, and that's exactly what was needed in light of the circumstances that we have found.
So earlier this week, Mayor Lee Harris was saying that the state hasn't done enough to help out the county, and that might have maybe prevented some of these issues. Do you feel like the state could have been doing more to help out Shelby County in terms of resources? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so the State Department of Health has been in continuous contact with the Shelby County Department of Health. I have been in contact with leadership in Shelby County and Memphis throughout this pandemic, in particular throughout the distribution of vaccines. We were assured, and not only just took those assurances, but weeks ago began to request information about the assurances that the process was going well. When we determined that there was concern about this process, we put people on the ground. That began our investigation into what we saw as a concern. The concerns we had were, they came to reality as we put people on the ground, and we acted swiftly and intervened significantly and have taken over that process as a result of it.
But from the very beginning, do you believe the state offered enough resources?
The state has been a significant partner with the health departments all across this state. We have 95 health departments. The state coordinates 89 of those or operates 89 of those and coordinates with the other 6. We've had a strong, continuous weekly interaction with health departments from one end of the state to the other. And so far as we know, 94 out of 95 of those health departments are distributing vaccine in the way that is that it should be distributed.
The FBI has been notified about the stolen vaccines or the alleged stolen vaccines. Is the TBI involved in this as well? Are you guys working out as to who has jurisdiction here?
Well, we actually have notified the FBI, and then the FBI will make decisions about who will be responsible for that investigation.
Will the state at all be looking at other counties now a little bit more closely? Is there going to be more kind of involvement in looking at how this is all managed in other counties?
We feel confident about the direction that the state has taken in all of these counties, and we have no reason to believe that there's any other challenge here. But at the same time, we are communicating with each health department. We are requesting information from each health department, particularly those that are not operated by the state. The state health departments have a very clear protocol and a very clear process for providing data, for providing information, but we are requesting that information from all health departments across the state now.
Did the Shelby County Health Department ever explain to the state why they only revealed yesterday that these vaccines may have been stolen? And do you feel the health department has misled the state about this or anything else related to the wasted vaccines?
There are a lot of questions about the way information was related, the timeliness of that information, the timelines of the vaccine wastage events, and when that information was made available. There's a lot of question about that, and a lot of concern as to whether or not that was done in a timely fashion or an appropriate fashion. And that's in part what the investigation that's happening right now is about.
Not
Shelby
just
County
seeing-
Health Director Lisa Housefeld resign or be fired?
Well, I certainly think that what has happened in the Shelby County Health Department provides a lot of concern, and there are a lot of questions that need to be asked. At the very least, I can say that there has been a real lack of leadership there.
Based on what you've seen so far with the city of Memphis now taking over the distribution, the operations, what's your confidence level for the public out there now that the city of Memphis has control?
Mayor Strickland and I have been talking for some time about this process of transferring over. They have a very clear plan. They have a very strong plan. We really have seen that there's not been a beat missed. Vaccines were transferred. They began to be distributed. There are thousands of vaccines being distributed across Shelby County today, including Shelby County teachers. I'm very pleased with what I've seen and very grateful for the work of the city of Memphis and their ability to get these vaccines into the arms of
Do you feel
Shelby
like
County.
the state is in control, like the health department? Like I know there's a bill proposed that said that, take the control out of the health department's hands and
Yeah.
have the state in control instead. After seeing all these errors and issues, do you
Yeah.
think you would support a bill like that?
Well,
and that happening?
I haven't looked at the language of that bill. The most important thing that we have to do right now is to make sure that Shelby Countyans get vaccines and that there not be any break in that process. We're very focused on that. We're very hopeful about the process that's been put in place. We're very, very concerned about what happened and when it happened and when the notifications were made. It's obviously it's very troubling, but we have intervened. We have taken this process over. We are partnering with the city of Memphis, and we feel very strong about
Brad, final
the
question?
prospects.
Just, you see this news come out and then more news. Just what's been your reaction the last week as you're hearing more and more, and are you fearing for more bad news will come out of Shelby County?
Let me say my response or my reaction is real disappointment, primarily disappointment for the people of Shelby County, but that's been our focus. So initial disappointment, but how do we make sure that the people that live in this county do not miss any opportunity for this life-saving vaccine? We feel strongly about the need for a fair and equitable and continuous distribution of this vaccine into every corner of this community, and that has been the greatest concern. Disappointment, but concern for the people, and we think we've alleviated that particular concern right now. The disappointment in what happened, clearly there's a lot yet to be learned about that.